Welcome back, and for those just tuning in, we just wrapped up our game. Grey Knights, Sanctic Spearhead, into the Space Marine, Ultramarines. What was your detachment?
Iron Storm.
Iron Storm. Final score: Grey Knights 76 to a Space Marine 39. So we did it. We did damage. That was the primary goal of this list.
You killed me a lot.
Push, 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 and we did that. We were able to push. We were able to do a lot of damage. This is not aggro aggressive play is not really my play style. So it's like figuring out when to move forward, when to hit, when to not is still something that I'll need practice on. Lane, honestly, and I'll go into this. Lane was not overly impressed. He said that it does do a good amount of damage, but there's some things that he definitely thinks I need to change.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's not bad. It's just that I gave you a pretty squishy list here. It's a lot of tanks, but it was a lot of toughness 10 with 3-up armor and no invulns. I think if you're seeing Iron Hands, a lot of time you're seeing the Redemptor Dreadnoughts with 2-up armor and damage reduction, that sort of thing, rather than the squishier tanks. That's why we usually don't take the Lancers. They can punch hard, but then they immediately die afterwards. So again, I'm not saying the Grey Knights list is bad. It's fun. Hits hard. I think if you don't have the option of taking fixed, you're in a rough spot because you only have 9 units, 2 of which can't do any actions or anything. So it does make things a little bit different there, but it does hit hard. It's kind of helps deal with the issue the Grey Knights have, where they have trouble punching up into anything that's especially higher than toughness 10 with a lot of their shooting. So you got a +1 to wound strat, the vehicles monsters, which is really good. And just a large amount of shooting, enough stuff that's D6 or Melta 4 or D6 +2 that when you get something through, it does a lot of damage. So,
yeah, I think there's some plays that I need to kind of practice on a little bit more. The sigil, I think I might have burned a little too quickly. Going after that objective, maybe I should have made it a little bit more difficult on you.
I always shoot at the sigil thing as soon as I can.
That's true.
I just don't want that. I don't want to have to deal with that later in the game. Not bopping around. So anytime I play you or anybody, if they got the sigil out there in previous index too, I would just shoot it as quick as I can just to pop it off, so I don't have to worry about it later, because it's a pain, especially later in the game when there's less things that can deal with it.
But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say in the sense of I moved forward, I shot big guns guns blew up vehicles, and it worked, and it was able to bring enough there. I liked the dreadnoughts. I liked being able to have the +1 to hit. Trying to think, there was really no other stratagems that. There was 2 stratagems that I used: fall back and shoot to get the Ravens out of trouble, which was crucial, and
tank shot.
Well, okay, I used tank shot. And I used the +1 to wound strat for monsters and vehicles. And that helped a lot,
especially in this matchup. Yep.
Yes, it definitely helped a lot to be able to take those things down. In an infantry matchup, I should have enough spray to take those things down just because of the volume of shooting I do. I kind of would like to give this thing a second try. I was pretty happy overall with just the sheer damage output. So I think this is my first time playing this style. So I have 1 Banishers and 1 Sanctic Spearhead that I would like to kind of run again. I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on the Dread Knights, the standard Dread Knights. I mean, that auto advance 6 is huge. Auto advance 6 is huge. Being able to put those guys down in from deep strike, rapid ingressing behind a wall, and then being able to just move so far with that extra threat range. I really think they're super valuable. They don't hit quite as hard, obviously, as the Grandmasters do, but they have a wider threat range, and they do so well.
They don't hit as hard, but they get there is the important part. They get there.
And backed up by the Dreadnoughts, they actually were hitting really hard. It just comes down to the fact that when you hit with a psi cannon, when you hit that many times with the psi cannon, it hurts. And being able to hit on 2s with the psi cannon was a big, big boost for a lot of units here. And yeah, I was happy. I mean, obviously a win's a win, and you're always happy with the win, but I was happy that I was able to actually push through and go, okay, these are the vehicles I want to shoot at. These are the ones that need to be destroyed. And then it got to a point that the reason the Ravens underperformed in some of these situations was I blew up the targets I needed. So now in future matchups, when I'm seeing that, I can kind of maybe dial it back and keep some stuff a little more protected, maybe have the Ravens use that long range 40, 48 and 36-inch range
Mhm.
to stay back until things blow up and then kind of move in strafing because they're a very strong piece throughout the entirety of the game. So, any final thoughts? Hey, you didn't get to try your combo today.
No, I didn't. He stopped me from doing that. I don't know. This train setup kind of made it difficult to stage that. It's kind of a tricksy little thing. So I don't know. The Iron Hedgehog will have to wait till some other time. No, it would help if I remember my rules. I totally forgot about my shoot back strat, which would have been super valuable in this game. And then I remembered it and used it once and then promptly forgot it again. So if I remember to use that thing, it would be super valuable, especially in something. I forgot to use it on a Lancer when you got a Lancer below. That thing being able to shoot with a reroll to hit, wound, and damage, plus the extra Iron Hands reroll, could have done some work. So, yeah, I don't play Iron Hands that often. I definitely think having more durable vehicles in there, more 2-up save Dreadnoughts and Redemptors with damage reduction would be a huge benefit to it. But it was fun to give it a try. Fun to try it out.
Yep. And I was happy to do that. Happy to smack some Imperium vehicles around with some Imperium vehicles, just like it's supposed to be. Just good old 30K right there, right? So, but yeah, I think give this another go. I'll look at some of the other enhancements and strats and stuff and see what else is there. The one thing I was kind of contemplating throughout it, while I like the Raven, its defense is a little meh in that aspect. We don't really have any defensive strats. So it's kind of
the damage reduction is pretty good.
The damage reduction is huge.
That's defensive ability right there.
But being able to do something like -1 to hit off smoke launchers would be kind of nice. Off something like a Land Raider that's also 16 wounds and a toughness 12. So I might consider going into that, especially because of the cost of a OC0 Raven versus an OC whatever it is Land Raider, not OC greater than 0 Land Raider. That might be the way to go with it because I could still move through walls, move the thing up there, and disembark a unit after it moves to have it do that damage. So there might be some thoughts kind of going into that a little bit too. So all in all, the detachment's strong. The advanced and the assault weapons is very strong. I liked the Dreadnoughts being able to get that +1 to hit. But really, the Dreadknights were the ones who just kind of cleared everything off the field. So, all in all, that's it. And I think that's pretty much it. Any other closing thoughts?
No, that was it.
All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.